The cells of the immune system ensure the defense of our body against non-self. So what are these cells and what are their characteristics? In order to observe the immune cells, we need to obtain some blood and prepare a slide in order to observe under the microscope. This preparation is called a bullet smear, or the preparation of a peripheral blood smear. We put a drop of blood on a slide 1 centimeter from an edge, and then set another slide with an angle of 30 to 45 degrees. We then spread the blood on the first slide in order to obtain a homogeneous distribution of this blood. Then we fix the blood on the slide using ethanol and heat, and we add coloring dyes like methylene, blue, and eosine in order to color the nucleus of the cells and the granules found in these cells. We obtain under the microscope this is an observation under the microscope. The small cells which do not show the presence of any violet color, they are the red blood corpuscles which have no nucleus, while the other ones having this violet color, they are the cells of the immune system, or the leukocytes, or the white blood cells. This cell here, as you see, has a very large nucleus filling almost all of its cytoplasm. It's called a lymphocyte. While these cells have a multi-lobed nucleus, you can see that the nucleus have more than one lobe, and they are called granulocytes. Now the cells of the immune system are all derived, or the white blood cells are all derived from a pluripotent stem cell which is found in the bone marrow, in the red bone marrow. This pluripotent stem cell, which is the mother cell, multiplies and divides into two types of cells which are called the myeloid stem cell and the lymphoid stem cell. The myeloid stem cell also produces the red blood corpuscles, but we are talking here mainly about the white blood cells. Produces two types of cells called the granulocytes and agranulocytes. The granulocytes have granules, which are small particles that appear red in color or maybe blue in color due to the different type of these granules, either acidic or basic. We can distinguish between eosinophils, basophils, and neutrophils. While agranulocytes have no granules in their cytoplasm, like the monocyte, which has a horseshoe-shaped nucleus, like the horseshoe, and mast cells, which are rich in vesicles that contain histamine, and they play a role in the allergic reaction. The lymphoid stem cells produce lymphocytes, which can be divided into B cells or T cells. So what is the function of each type of these cells? The neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils, which are the granulocytes, have a function mainly in phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is the engulfment of the antigen, and it's the degradation or digestion. This will be discussed later on in the immune response. Neutrophils, they phagocyte and destroy bacteria. So if someone makes a blood test and he has a high amount of neutrophils, then we know that he has a bacterial infection. Eosinophils, which phagocyte the antigen antibody complex, and this will also be discussed later on. Basophils, they amplify the allergic reaction. Macrophages or monocytes, which transform into macrophages, they play a role in phagocytosis, while mast cells, they are the sole players in the allergic reaction. Now, B and T lymphocytes, they have a large nucleus which fills almost all of their cytoplasm. The B lymphocytes, they have on their membrane a receptor called immunoglobulin or antibody. Once these cells are activated, they will transform into plasma cells, where the nucleus or the cytoplasm will increase in size and become rich in organelles such as the endoplasmic reticulum and the Golgi apparatus that are important in protein production, and this cell will start releasing these antibodies into the blood or the serum. So this is for the B lymphocyte, which transforms into a plasma cell. What about the T cell? The T cell, I have two types of T cells. We have the T helper and the T cytotoxic. So this is the T cell. I have two types of T cells, the T helpers and the T cytotoxic. The T helpers, they help or direct the immune system, the immune response, the specific immune response. They have a marker called CD4 markers, and thus they are called T4 lymphocytes. However, T cells or cytotoxic T cells, they kill the cells that are infected with microorganisms, so they are killer cells, and they have a marker on their membrane called CD8 marker, and that's why they are called T8 lymphocytes. Now, as a practice, you might try to solve probing the document part 3 on your book, page 122, to construct a table having or showing the different leukocyte population, their origin, their size, their structure, their receptors, and their roles. And this information can be found on your book, pages 121 and 122. Now, this document might give you an impression that it is a bit hard. However, it is just an introduction for the immune response, and we need to be familiar with the names. Granulocytes, which are the cells that have granules in their cytoplasm, and they have multilobed nucleus. The monocytes, which transform into macrophages and perform phagocytosis, and this will be discussed later on. And lymphocytes, where we have two types of lymphocytes, the B cells, which produce antibodies, and the T cells, which are either T cytotoxic or T helpers.